What's going on, guys and girls? It is Missylation or Michael, and I'm here with another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be starting a new series called Nostalgia or Classic. Essentially, in this series, we're going to be going back to some very old games. I'm talking PS1, 2, 3 days that personally I loved back then, but I haven't played for a very long time. And we're going to be looking at these games to see if our love for them were powered by just simply nostalgia, or were they actually classic games that were good and they hold up to this day. So before we start, if y'all are interested in this, leave a like and be sure to drop a game down in the comments that you would want me to review. I already do have a handful of them that I'm going to review next, but I would love to add some more to the list, so let me know. So the first game that I'm going to be starting with is one of my own personal favorite games from my childhood called Jet Li: Rise to Honor. The game was released in 2004 on PS2, and only PS2 being a PlayStation exclusive, and it starred one of the greatest martial artist actors of all time, Jet Li. So the game follows Kit Yun, played by Jet Li, an undercover Hong Kong police officer who is assigned as a bodyguard to Boss Chiang, a friend of his father. A little while into Kit's undercover assignment, Boss Chiang decides to leave the life of organized crime, but one of his associates named Quan begins an outrage, and a bunch of the gang members attempt to assassinate Boss Chiang. Despite Kit's efforts, Boss Chiang gets assassinated by a mysterious sniper. During Chiang's dying moments, he tells Kit to deliver an envelope containing information about the crime scene to his estranged daughter, Michelle. Being a friend from childhood of Michelle's, Kit obliges and heads for San Francisco to deliver the message to her, despite whatever obstacles come into his way. Very intriguing, very nostalgic type of plot there. I know a lot of films that kind of follow the same thing. Pretty cool, and what you would expect for one of these games. Now we're going to be starting with the graphics, which is probably the simplest thing to talk about. The graphics for this game, they're not bad actually for a game released in 2004 on PS2. Not saying that this is going to blow your mind or anything, but Jet Li looks like Jet Li. The game looks pretty good. The environments are pretty nifty. I like it. Now, moving on to the gameplay. This is actually the key to the game because I remember playing it when I was a little boy. I really loved the gameplay. I thought it was really nice. Now, combat. So essentially, the game tells you, hey, slap the right stick, not square or triangle, slap the right stick towards the enemy you want to attack, and they have a bit of a health bar. You slap them a few times. You slap them until the health bar goes down. At first, this can be quite fun until your thumb gets really tired of slapping the stick left, right, behind you, and in front of you. Of course, they do toss in like counter systems or block systems where you can hold the R1 and you can like dodge and then hold R1 and L1 and counter after an enemy attacks. But there's not much variety to the combat, unfortunately. You can grab people and initiate these pretty brutal special attacks where you grab them and let's say you're in the kitchen, you drag them over to a pot of boiling water, you can dunk their face in, or let's say you can just smash their head on the counter or throw them into a fire pit. They kind of bounce off, so it's not into it. There's a few things here and there, but it's not consistent enough to be like, wow, the combat, the hand-to-hand combat is like so broad and it has a lot of stuff to offer. It really doesn't. Actually, after a while, sadly, I got kind of tired of slapping the stick, and it just wasn't very entertaining after a while. It got really repetitive. I would say I wish they had the ability to put the attack buttons on square and triangle, maybe the grab button be circle and something else on X, but sadly there's no options to change the controls, and I feel like that's kind of that kind of takes the fun out of it, especially when you have countless enemies. You defeat one enemy and another comes by and it's like, boy, like what the hell, like are they ever gonna stop? My thumb is tired. Talking about the parkour, yes, the game has parkour. Sometimes you run from guns being shot at you, and sometimes you run and chase after somebody. The game requires you to simply press R1 as you see the jump button or the open door button on something, and yeah, you just kind of jump and flip through areas to make it to the next area where you beat more motherfuckers up. It's all right. I did find a few iffy issues with it though. When I was supposed to be running from this guy with two Uzis, I kept pressing the correct button in the correct direction to jump over a barricade, but it kept pushing me back into the bullets until I really pushed hard to the left and it let me over. So I did die once or twice, unfortunately. It's a bit janky, but when it works, it's fine. It's nothing too special. It's just press the button to jump. Now the shooting is actually pretty simple. You just hold the right stick in the direction that you want to shoot. If you're shooting barrels, you're going to hold L2, if I'm not mistaken, and shoot. If you're shooting people, you're going to hold the stick up and then you're going to pull the R2 trigger and boom, they dead. It's pretty cool. That's about it though. I mean, you don't really have to aim because there's automatically a target on the person and you just pull the trigger and it works. So, I mean, shooting, it sounds a bit repetitive, but it's actually quite fun for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, you don't really have any ammo to worry about. You can just hold the stick, and you can do these really cool jumps where you jump in slow motion and kind of like shoot. I think that was in Max Payne or something like that. I haven't played that like forever, so it's really cool. It's pretty cool mechanic when you're shooting, but that's about it though. That's all there is to shooting. And for some reason, everyone has 2 guns. No one ever has 1 gun. There's always 2 guns. Interesting. Now, simply extra mechanics. I mean, I did forget to mention that you can pick up weapons. Like, you can beat the fuck out of somebody with a lobster. It's pretty fun. And like I said earlier, you can use the environment to your combat needs, but it doesn't really do much. I mean, overall, the gameplay for me is a bit disappointing looking back on it, because it did feel more complex back in the day, and maybe it was more complex back in the day, but now that games have gotten so much better with their combat systems, it just doesn't hold up. Now, about level design, I'm not one of those people who go through and be like, oh, every level must have at least 1 red barrel. No. The levels are pretty cool. There's a handful of levels that have actually never left my brain. I've never forgotten them from childhood, but that's only a few, maybe 2 or 3. I've always remembered the kitchen. If I'm not mistaken, was it a hospital? It was someplace with some damn escalators and shit. Like, I didn't make it that far. You know, that's pretty nice. But besides that, the levels aren't very memorable except for those few levels. So I'll give it props for having those cool ass levels that I'm always gonna remember. And that I really look forward to playing through. But besides that, I mean, level design, it's all right. It's easy to find where to go. You don't have to stress about knowing where to go. You already know where to go. It's kind of a path led for you, and you don't have to move the camera around. The camera moves for you. So whenever you move into a direction, it will let you know where to go. Now for sound, we're going to be talking about the voice actors, fight lines. It's pretty simple. Voice actors, not the best. Not gonna lie, the shit sounds like extra robotic. Dudes sound like extra dramatic. It's in Chinese. Part of it's in Chinese, part of it's in English. But I'm not gonna say it's like the worst I've ever heard, but it's definitely, you know, it's a PS2 game. I can't knock it too bad. I can't knock it too bad. So that's a minor point. Now on the other side, the fight lines, like the lines when you're fighting, I'm not gonna lie, I heard one motherfucker just say the same shit over and over again. Then 2 of them said it at the same time. So there's not much diversity in what the guys have to say while you're kicking their ass or while they're kicking your ass, because you got really lazy and stopped flicking the right stick. So overall, I hate being biased, so I'm gonna be real. My love for this game is based on pure nostalgia. I mean, maybe back then, back when the game first came out, back when I was playing it as a little boy, maybe back then it was something new and it hasn't been discovered yet. But now, it hasn't aged very well, and I'm kind of sad about it though, because I really have fond memories of the game. So unfortunately, not a classic. Very nostalgic though. And if you want to sit through some of it, like, go for it. If you can find a copy, go for it. Like, check it out for yourself and see what you think. If you've played it recently, let me know. If you have any childhood memories from it, let me know, because I would love to hear. But I will say, I'm not too sure, but I have a feeling that this game inspired another really good game, a game that took the mechanics further, that worked better, open world game. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but I might cover it soon, so stay tuned for that. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was Jet Li Roster Honor. Slap the nostalgia brand on there. Yeah, it's pretty short, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. Nevertheless, like I said, drop a like if you like this. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to leave a game in the comments y'all want me to check out. I might get to it, and yeah, I'll try to drop like 1 or 2 of these every month, because I'm gonna have to find the games, get into them, play some of them, get the gameplay, and talk about them. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Sayonara.